11월 12일 8시 5분. Come with me to the city. There you can live in a beautiful house and have good things for dinner every day. When you have lived in the city for a week, you will forget all about living in the country. So the two mice went to the city. They reached the home of the city mouse at night. You must be hungry. We walked for a long time, said the city mouse to his friend. We will have some dinner immediately. So they went to the dining room, and the city mouse found some cake and fruit. Help yourself, he said. There is enough for both of us. This is a very good dinner, said the country mouse. We are very rich, my friend. Just then the door opened, and a dog came in. The mice jumped off the table and ran into a hole in the floor. The poor little country mouse was so frightened. Do not be afraid, said his friend. The dog cannot come in here. Then the mice went to the kitchen. They found an apple pie on the shelf, and were enjoying a piece of it. At that moment, they saw two bright eyes watching them. The cat, cried the city mouse, and the mice quickly and through a hole in the wall. When the country mouse could speak and said, Goodbye, my friend. You can live in the city with the dogs and cats. I like my home in the country. In the country, the birds sing to me while I eat my simple corn and apples. In the city, the cats watch you eating your fatty and cake pie. I like my corn in safety better than your cake in feel. Better a simple meal in peace than a fussy meal in fear. The goose with the golden egg. There once was a man who had a very fine goose. Every day, the goose laid a golden egg. The man soon became rich, but as he became rich, he became greedy. The goose must be full inside. He thought to himself, I will open her and get the golden egg once. So he killed the goose, but he found no wood. The man cried and said, I should have been happy with the golden egg each day. Sometimes great makes people who foolish things. The bear and the travelers. One day two men were traveling together. They suddenly came across a bear. One of the men climbed quickly into a tree and tried to hide himself among its branches. The other man up, down, and lay on the ground. When the bear came up and smelled him all over, the man held his breath and pretended to be dead. The bear soon left him because, as many people said, a bear will not touch a dead body. When the bear had gone, a traveler in the tree came down to join his friend. As a little joke, he asked, What did the bear whisper in your ear? His friend answered very seriously. He told me, Never travel with a friend who runs away when danger comes. A true friend is with you in good times and bad times. The shepherd boy and the wolf. There once was a young shepherd boy. He watched his sheep at the bottom of the mountain. He was very lonely watching the sheep all day by himself. So one day he thought of a plan to have some food. He ran down toward the village, calling out, Wolf, wolf. The kind village came up to him to help him, and soon of them stayed with him for a while. This made the boy very happy. He decided to try the trick again a few days later. Again he ran to the village shouting, Wolf, wolf. Again the villagers came to help him, but they didn't see any wolves. But shortly after this, a wolf really did come out. Soon the wolf began to bother the sheep. The boy again cried out, even louder than before, Wolf, wolf. But the Villagers had been tricked twice before. They thought the boy was fooling them again. Because none of them went to help the boy, the wolf ate all his sheep. No one believed a liar even when they tell me the truth. The milkwoman and her pail. A farmer's daughter was carrying a pail of milk. I can make some money from selling this milk, she thought. Then money will be enough to buy at least 300 eggs. The eggs will produce about 250 chickens. When the chickens grow, I will sell them in the market. After selling the chickens, I will have enough money to buy a new dress. I will wear this beautiful new dress to parties. Then all the best young men will ask me to marry them. But I will refuse all the men and just enjoy the parties. The young woman was enjoying her thoughts so much she didn't see a stone on the road. Suddenly, her foot hit the stone and she fell. She dropped the pail on the milk. The milk disappeared into the ground, taking away all of our plants. Do not count our chickens before they are hatched. The boys and the frogs. One day, a group of boys were playing by the side of a small lake. Some of the boys threw stones into the water for fun. A lot of frogs lived in this little lake, and they kept getting hit by the stones the boys threw. Finally, a wise old frog put his head up out of the water and said, "Boys, please don't throw stones at us. We are only playing," said the boys. "I know that," said the frog, "but your stones hurt us. You may throw stones for fun, but your fun causes us great pain. One person's pleasure may be another pain." The miser. A miser sold most of his land to buy a shiny piece of gold. He buried the gold in the ground by an old well, and went to look at it every day. One day, one of his workers saw the miser going to war and followed him. Soon the worker discovered the secret of the hidden treasure. When the miser was gone, he dug up the gold and stole it. The next day, the miser found that his gold had been stolen. A miser cried and cried in anger and sadness. A neighbor saw the miser cry and found out what was wrong. He said, "Please don't cry too much. You should go and get a stone, bury it in the garden, and pretend the stone is a piece of gold. It will be just the same as when the gold was there, because you never did anything with the gold when you had it. The true waste of money is not having it, but using it wisely." The ant and the grasshopper. The ant and the grasshopper lived in the same big field. The ants always worked hard and tried to prepare and harvest enough food for winter. Their happy neighbor, the ginger, the grasshopper, couldn't understand them. He just ignored them and kept singing. When the first frost came, it ended the work of the ant and the party of the grasshopper. One winter day, the ants were busy spreading their grain in the sun to dry. The grasshopper was nearing dying with hunger, so he went to the ants to ask for some food. "Good day to you, kind neighbor," said the grasshopper. "Won't you lend me a little food?" I will certainly repair before this time next year. Why don't you have any food? Everyone asked an old ant. There was a lot of food in the big field of summer. What did you do? Oh, said the grasshopper, forgetting his hunger. I sang all day long and all night long. Well then, said the ant, if you can sing all summer, you shall dance all winter. And the old ant went back to her work, singing the ant song. We ants never borrow, we ants never lend. Don't forget to prepare for bad times, even during good times. The ant and the dove. An ant was walking by the river one day and said to himself, how nice and cool this water looks. I must drink some of it. As he began to drink, his foot slipped, and he fell in. Oh, somebody please help me or I will die, cried the ant. A dove sitting in a tree over the river heard him and threw him a leaf.